Hello, dear listeners and friends. Welcome back to Papa-Norr Storytime. This is Papa-Norr. So far, we are reading A Saint in Brown Sandals by Elizabeth Irene Beatty. We have done the first 8 weeks, and today we'll be doing the 9th and the 10th week. So, we have entered the final throes of this reading. If you're new to this channel, I'd like to encourage you, urge you, nudge you. Please subscribe, like it, and click on that notification button. And also, don't forget to share. Thank you very much for doing that. For those of you who have already subscribed to the channel, liked it, and shared it, thank you very much. We have crossed that first magic number of 100 subscribers. Thank you very much. And so today we're going to do week 9 and week 10. Again, we have a special guest to read for us. I'm excited today too, because I know this gentleman quite well. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Will Sternick as he reads for us. Will, take it away.
Hello, I am Will. I am going to read weeks 9 and 10 for you. So let's start with week 9. Monday, March 1st. During the maths test today, Mrs. Mensa said she heard someone whispering in the left corner of the classroom where I sit. She asked Maybelline where the noise came from, and Maybelline gestured towards the middle of the class. That is where Botemma and a few others were sitting. They swore they hadn't made a single sound, but Miss Mensa still deducted 2 points from each of their test scores. I was shocked. It was Maybelline who whispered. She had tried to ask me something. After the test, I asked Maybelline why she'd whispered my name in class. She had said she wanted to ask me for an eraser. When she went out at break time, I unzipped her pink pencil case quickly to check it. She had at least 3 erasers in her pencil case. I know she wanted help with the maths test. Why did Miss Mensa take Maybelline's word over that of the others? What makes her more believable than them? Now, Botemma and Co. were getting punished for something they didn't do. I think if I were Maybelline, I would have owned up instead of letting other people get the blame for something they didn't do. I'm trying to make myself feel better by telling myself that maybe none of those who got points deducted would have stood up for me if I was in their shoes. But I know that's not true. But Botemma would have stood up for me. I should have spoken up. Tuesday. I think someone told Botemma that the whispering sound came from where Maybelline and I were sitting. She came up to me to find out, and I told her that I never talked during class tests. She knows that's the truth. Then she went over to Maybelline and they began arguing. I kept trying to pull her away, saying it was only 2 points, but that seemed to make her even angrier. 2 points mean a lot to a scholarship girl like Botemma. In the middle of the argument, Maybelline shrieked and pointed to a dark insect on Botemma's white collar. Oh no! She shrieked. A louse over there! Stay away! Don't give me your lice! All the other girls had gathered around, stepped back, and began brushing off their uniforms as if they thought Botemma had the Ebola virus. I didn't get a very close look, but from where I was standing, it didn't look like a louse. Botemma keeps insisting she doesn't have lice, but people look uncomfortable when she sits near them now. Wednesday. Maybelline told me what she saw on Botemma's shoulder. It was a black ant. Just as I thought. I was really shocked, and I had to ask her why she had done that. Because she wanted to make us look bad. Maybelline answered, the cheek! Doesn't she know that she's only here because those of us who can afford to pay full fees have subsidized her? I think you should be thanking me for shutting her up. I want to ask Maybelline to own up to everything, but I am afraid she will get mad at me and never speak to me again. I keep asking myself, it would be such a terrible thing if she never spoke to me again. And I keep coming to the same conclusion. Yes, it would be. I like having a rich, popular girl as my friend. Thursday. Miss Danqua picked out the Damba dancers today. She watched us while we were dancing, and I was so tense I could barely breathe. Maybelline, Pokwa, Akos, and several other girls all got picked. I didn't. I was so deflated. Now I'm going to be doing a dance which won't even come on TV. After dance, I told Miss Danqua how disappointed I was for not to have been chosen to lead the Minister for Education in or out of the Assembly Hall. Don't feel bad, she said kindly. You're not a bad dancer. What you lack in grace, you more than make up for in vigor. She made it sound like a compliment, but thinking about it, I'm really not sure that it is. I don't feel like going to dance practice anymore since I won't be on TV. But club activities are compulsory, so I have to go. On the way back from cultural dance, I saw Botemma and the Adege twins training with the Saints on the athletics track. They were running really fast, but I bet I could still give them a run for their money. Maybelline noticed me eyeing the Saints. Don't they look dusty and sweaty? She sniffed. Friday. Botemma came up to me at break time to ask for a storybook. Maybelline shivered and asked, Have you been deloused yet? Lice jump, you know. Botemma glared at her and said, Sister Teresa has checked my hair, and she said I don't have lice. Oh, you don't have rice, don't you? How about lice? Botemma sucked her teeth and stalked off. After she had passed, Maybelline looked at me and winked, but I couldn't wink back. This must be what it means to have your conscience prick you. Saturday. This morning, while Mama was puzzling over the lack of ripe fruit on her pawpaw tree, she asked me how Botemma was. I told her the whole story about whispering in class and the louse affair. As I talked, everything sounded worse, and I began to cry. I couldn't help it. I felt so bad. And so guilty. I told Mama I really should have done something. Something like what? She asked. Well, I sniffed. Right from the beginning, I should have told Maybelline to own up. And I should also have told everyone that Botemma didn't have a louse on her shoulder that day. So, why didn't you? Mama asked. I admitted that I liked being in Maybelline's group of friends. One of the girls. Well, you know the saying, said Mama, still peering up the pawpaw tree. Fools go in crowds. Oh, thanks, Mama, I thought through my tears. How very comforting. Sunday. Mama found out this morning that the fishmonger's niece had been selling pawpaws from her favorite tree to street boys, so she sent her packing. No housemaid again. Kitchen sink. Here I come. The housegirl's aunt, the fishmonger, came by the evening to plead with Mama to take the now ex-housegirl back into service. I stood behind the door, praying Mama would change her mind. Mama kept stressing that if the housegirl had simply given away the pawpaws, she would not have been so angry. But to sell them and keep the loot was a crime, she thought, almost like robbery. After a few tears from the housegirl and her aunt, Mama gave her another chance. Oh, thank you, Lord. No more washing up. For now. Week 10. Monday, March 8th. In all our athletics meets, the Saints have always been strong tips for winning sprint events. That is, up until now. The Adege twins have got chicken pox and have to stay home. I couldn't believe my ears. The athletics meet is in a couple of days, and St. Catherine's is short of 2 of its best sprinters. This must be excellent news for our rivals from other schools. Maybelline said she didn't see what the fuss was about. I knew she would never understand. She never seems to think anything is important if she's not involved in it. Botema asked me if I could stand in for one of the missing people and help them make the quartet tomorrow. But Maybelline gasped, "Of course you can't. They've been training for 6 weeks." Tuesday. At break time today, Mr. Peters came up to where I was sitting with Maybelline and told me that the first reserve on the 100-meter team was ready, but the second reserve, Amma, had lost her nerve. "There's room for one more on the relay team tomorrow, if you'd like to come and train this afternoon," he offered. I really wanted to say yes, but I caught Maybelline's eye and saw her frown and shake her head. Mr. Peters and said sharply, "Think for yourself, Miss Ansa. Don't let someone else make up your mind for you." That comment annoyed me, so I said I didn't think I'd be able to join the team. He shook his head and walked off. Maybelline said I'd made a fool of myself on the track team tomorrow if I'd agreed to join the Saints. I always loved athletics meets. I've always loved being a Saint. And I should have been looking forward to tomorrow, but I'm not. Ridgeway Central School must now be the favorite to win the 4-time 100-meter relay. It would be awful if we lost to them on TV. I'm having a really miserable evening. I'm trying hard to be Maybelline's friend, but does it mean I have to change who I am? Does that mean I have to stop doing the things I like or enjoy? Is this what it means to be one of the girls? Wednesday. I got to school extra early this morning before Maybelline, because if I had told her, she would have made me change my mind. And I went to Mr. Peters' office. I then took a deep breath and asked him if he would place me on the team. I was sure he would reject me, but instead, he patted me on the back. He was smiling and his eyes were shining when I left his office. I'd rather make a fool of myself doing something I enjoy than do stuff I just don't like to be with the cool girls. Thursday. The names of the athletes competing for a particular event are always announced just before the race. When the athletes for the 4-time 100-meter relay were announced, my name was third, and cheers from the St. Catherine's stand were incredible. We got to our positions around the 400-meter track, and the starters gone popped, and the runners were off. Essie was on the first leg for the Saints, and she got off to a brilliant start. But as she reached the 100-meter mark, she stretched a hand over the baton to Lydia, and she stumbled and dropped it. Lydia snatched the baton up, but the runners from the other schools were already away. She chased them hard, and by the time she got to me, the Saints were in third position. I grabbed the baton in my shaky, sweaty hands, and the next 12 seconds or so were a blur. All I remember is the wind in my face and the noise. The deafening sound of my schoolmates hollering my name, the roaring sound of my own blood in my ears, and the pounding of my trainers on the track. It was only after I had rounded the bend and was handing the baton to Botema I realized I was in the lead. Botema grabbed the baton and began to fly down the track. All the Saints were standing and screaming until she crossed the line with the tape streaming from her chest. The Saints had won the 4-time 100-meter relay, and it was on TV! Friday. Everyone crowded around me in class today. They were all proud of me. I was proud of me too. We raved over our race yesterday. How Lydia snatched the baton after it had dropped, how fast I was running, how Botema's feet barely seemed to touch the ground. Then I saw Maybelline coming up towards the group around me, and surprise, surprise, she looked pleased. She gave me a huge hug and said, "Oh, Robbie, I just knew you were going to make us so proud. You were the best person in the team. None of the other girls from the other school stood an ice cube's chance in hell of even coming close. I'm so pleased you took my advice and decided to save the Saints from disgrace." She smiled and winked at me, but I said nothing. I know Maybelline made that comment because she wants the whole class to think she had a play in the victory. What she actually thinks is racing down on a dusty track is not cool. But I'm not worried about what she thinks anymore. I'm doing what's right for me. I may not be able to dance for toffee, but I can really run. And to me, that's cool. Saturday. Botema was here for the day. I confessed about the black ant louse plus the whispering in class incidents to her. Fortunately, after her great run on Thursday, everybody is treating her like a queen. And she's not interested in remembering the bad times. Also, she still got an A on the tests, despite being docked 2 points. She asked me if I still thought Maybelline was a friend, and I shrugged. It's taken me a little while to see through Maybelline. So that's the end of week 10. Back to you, Papa-Norr.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Will, for that reading. That was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners, as you can see, the story is gradually and beautifully and logically and systematically developing and coming to a beautiful conclusion. And I'm sure you can be able to guess and know how the story probably ends. But next week, we're going to know how the story ends properly. Once again, if you're new to this channel and you're listening for the first time, don't forget to subscribe, click on the notification button, like it, and share it. And don't forget also to watch it. I'll see you again on the next reading. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.